Y tenemos en la línea nada más y nada menos que la doctora Zhana Vrangalova. Ella es investigadora, escritora y educadora sexual. Tiene un doctorado en Psicología del Desarrollo de la Universidad de Cornell, donde estudió cómo los diferentes aspectos de la sexualidad están relacionados con la salud y el bienestar. Y actualmente es profesora adjunta en el departamento de Psicología de NYU, que es la Universidad de Nueva York. Ella no habla español, entonces tengan paciencia. Vamos a ir traduciendo. Pero la pregunta para todos ustedes en redes es, ¿quién está jacarandoso ahorita en esta cuarentena? ¿Quién tiene interés en cooperar? ¿Quién tiene intacta su vida sexual? ¿Y a quién se le está complicando eso de cooperar? Zhana, how are you?
Hola, buenos días. Zhana habla español, pero solo un poco. Entonces, la próxima vez en español.
Ok. No, perfecto. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, gracias.
Oye, entonces, ¿la hacemos en español o en inglés?
No, en inglés. Esta vez en inglés.
Okay. So next time we'll do it in Spanish.
Next time in Spanish, yes.
Okay, so we've been laughing all morning. Actually, we've been laughing the last days about talking about sex and the quarantine. And, you know, there's so many couples that are definitely not in the mood. Many others that are obsessed with it. Fighting because, you know, the other partner doesn't want to cooperate. And we were talking about this morning and asking the audience who feels that sex is as good as before, who feels that their sex life has gone downhill, and why is this happening, Zhana?
Did you get some results?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people saying, my wife doesn't want to have sex. Others saying, my husband doesn't want to have sex. Others saying, my libido is down the drain. Others saying, we're doing fine. But what's going on in this quarantine?
Oh, it's such a strange time for all of us in this quarantine. And it is going to affect people in different ways. I think it's very common and normal to expect that with all the anxiety that is going on, maybe financial troubles, people losing their jobs, being stuck at home and not being able to leave, all of that is creating a sense of anxiety and fear and frustration and resentment that can definitely affect the libido. So it's quite understandable that many people would feel not particularly interested in sex or not thinking about it, or sort of not even being able to stand their partner in that moment because they're stuck with them all day long.
Okay, so we're not crazy.
No, nobody's crazy. This is a very normal reaction that we're all having.
Okay, let me translate that to Spanish. Le digo que hemos estado carcajeándonos estos últimos días del cuento del sexo y la cuarentena, que hay muchas parejas que cero quieren cooperar, otros que el libido se les fue ya en el fregadero, otros que sí quieren, pero la pareja no quiere. Entonces dice Zhana que la verdad es que es bastante normal que en estos momentos que muchos estamos ansiosos, distraídos, deprimidos, aburridos, que estamos todos encerrados unos encima del otro, que pues se te baje el libido y que tengas menos ganas y menos interés. Entonces le digo, bueno, no estamos locos. Me dice, no, cero. Es bastante común que esto esté pasando. Okay, done. Continue, Zhana.
Yes. And of course, for some other people, this might be a time when they have more time to think about sex when they're getting horny, and maybe there's more time to masturbate. There's more time to even create time for each other, and so some people might be more excited about that.
Dice que así como hay gente que el libido se le fue al suelo, puede ser que también hayan muchos de ustedes que porque como ahora tienen más tiempo, pues tengan más tiempo para hacer tiempo para eso. Para tener buenas y largas sesiones de sexo, para masturbarse, para disfrutarse, y que ese es como otro gran grupo de la población. Okay, done. Continue.
Because there aren't that many options for what we can do during quarantine, and so sexuality is one of the few really fun things that we can do with ourselves and with our partners.
Yeah. Dice que como hay pocas cosas que uno puede hacer cuando está en cuarentena, pues el sexo puede ser, digamos que el Disneylandia de los adultos, aunque sea momentáneamente. It could be like the adult Disneyland for at least a few minutes. Y que esa puede ser también una gran fuente, pues obviamente, de entretenimiento. Now, what is happening, Zhana, is that I think also that many couples... No, actually, let me rephrase the question. I was saying a little while ago on another interview that I think that the quarantine is magnifying everything. Like, if you had a good relationship, everything is going to be hunky-dory. If your relationship was frail and not going very well, that's going to be magnified as well. Many relationships will not hold up to this quarantine. And it's magnifying everything. It's magnifying the good, the bad, and the ugly. And sex-wise, I think that is also what is happening between couples. If you had like maybe a sort of lame sex relationship, maybe that's being magnified, or maybe it's the opposite. And you're having, as you said, the time to have, long sex sessions with your spouse.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is a magnifying glass for everything that's going on. And, in a way that's good, it's putting some of these relationships to a test that once we're done with quarantine, people can have a better sense of what they want to do. Is this indeed a relationship that they want to stay in, or is this something that has ran its course and it's time to end?
Yeah. Dice que absolutamente de acuerdo con el hecho de que la cuarentena magnifica todo, para bien y para mal. Los que iban bien estarán muy bien, los que iban frágil estarán más frágil, los que iban mal van a acabar tronando. Y dice que, en efecto, que está de acuerdo con la teoría, porque muchas relaciones, y que esto es bueno, porque afianza lo que se necesitaba afianzar. Y lo que tenía que tronar va a acabar tronando. So, as a sex expert, my friend, what are your recommendations for people who are in a relationship, for people who are in a relationship but are not quarantining together, and for people who are damn single?
all those three groups of people have sort of different challenges, right, with the quarantine. So I would say for the people who are quarantined together, one thing that's really important is to find some time and space to be alone. Because we're not usually, for most couples, right, they don't spend as much time together as they are during this time. So just having alone time or away from that person is really important. And how they do that, it depends on your particular situation. So if there's a separate bedroom where you can spend a few hours, or just go for a walk alone, or go do yoga. Just do something for yourself that separates you from your partner, because we as humans need connection, but we also need some separation and individuality that can really drive sexual desire.
Dice, primero, para las parejas juntas, para las parejas que están en cuarentena separados, y para los solteros, son retos bien diferentes. Empecemos por la primera. Para las parejas que viven juntos, es súper importante encontrar tiempo para estar solos. O sea, solos no en pareja, solos de manera individual. Para cada uno, según su circunstancia, será diferente. Pero puede ser irte a otro cuarto, hacer ejercicios solos, irte a caminar por tu lado. Pero encontrar estos espacios para estar solo y un poquito como generar tantito extrañamiento, porque normalmente las parejas no están acostumbradas a estar pegadas 24 horas al día como estamos hoy. Entonces, encontrar esos momentos de soledad. Okay, number 2.
Number 2, have weekly date nights. Have something special.
Excuse me?
It's possible, I swear.
Okay, explain.
Right, so as we're at home, in our pajamas probably all day, seeing each other do all the regular everyday things, that's not necessarily very sexy and very connected even. And so I think creating some time, maybe on a weekly basis, to have a special night. You dress up at home. It can be at home, right? Because we can't leave. You dress up, you cook a nice dinner or order in a nice dinner, you light some candles, open a bottle of wine, whatever it is that makes it feel special, and then literally pretend that you're out at a restaurant having a nice evening. And there are all these virtual streaming things that people can do if you want something like you can watch a play, you can stream an opera, you can go on a virtual museum tour. That it can make it sort of special, because I think a lot of people are just watching TV together and not doing much other stuff. Or another thing that people can do, if they can leave their house, maybe you can have like a dinner, like a picnic in the park, watching the sunset. And
what do we do, Zhana? And do we drug the kids?
What do we do with the kids?
Do we drug the kids?
Well, there is a kids issue, right? If there are kids,
I understand. Yeah.
But after they go to sleep.
Exactly.
You can do that at home.
So let me say that in Spanish, pero dice, aunque les parezca una locura, tienen que hacer un date una vez a la semana. Y Rebeca y yo, perdón. Y entonces dice Zhana, sí, o sea, de verdad, escojan un día, literal, ya cuando los niños se hayan dormido, vístanse padre, arréglense, abran una botella de vino, unas chelas, lo que sea para cada quien, pidan algo de cenar o cocinen juntos, siéntense en la mesa, coman, imagínense que están en un restaurante en una noche especial, vean a lo mejor una ópera juntos en la televisión, una obra de teatro o un paseo por un museo de manera virtual. Pueden hacer un picnic a lo mejor en el parque con la luna llena. El punto de lo que está diciendo Zhana es que acabamos diario, and you're so right about that, sentados en el sofá, en pijama, viendo CNN. That's what my husband and I do every night. We watch CNN for 3 hours until we're exhausted, and we fall asleep in bed, and that's it. The next morning, the same thing. So I get your date thing. I get your date thing. I'm going to do that with my husband on Friday in your honor, my dear Zhana. So number 3.
La ópera y el museo está padrísimo.
Sí, claro.
Padrísimo.
Okay. So point number 3, Zhana.
Point number 3, I would say try to do something, commit to doing something new sexually with each other. Because the monotony kind of our daily lives, that every day looks exactly the same nowadays, and that translates into the sex life that we're having, and it can get kind of boring and uninspiring. And so I think thinking of this time, because we have more time, as R&D time, research and development time. It's, doing something that you haven't done before, learning a new skill. You can take there are online sex courses and sex classes that you can take. You can order a new sex toy and learn how to use it with each other. One of my favorite couple sex toys is Lelo's Tiani that can be used during intercourse. And I hear that soon there will be Lelo toys in the yellow store. And so people can order it online or buy it at store when we can go to stores. But it's something that people have been talking about. Maybe they have had some fantasies that they've never put into place. And so now is kind of committing to doing something new and something different.
Okay, great idea. I love the R&D, the research and development. Dice, consejo número 3. Comprométanse a intentar o aprender algo nuevo sexualmente hablando. Una nueva habilidad, una nueva posición, compren un nuevo juguete. Dice ella que hay uno que está muy de moda ahorita que se llama Lilo, que lo pueden comprar online. Aprendan a usarlo juntos, hagan las fantasías que siempre han tenido realidad. O sea, el punto es que entren en una fase de R&D, que es Research and Development, que es investigación y desarrollo de su vida sexual. Ahora que tienen tiempo, exploren algo que nunca han explorado, hagan algo que nunca han hecho, aprendan algo que no saben. Hay un chorro de cursos de sexo en línea, clases de todo tipo, y está padre que aprovechen para aprender pues otra habilidad. I love it. Zhana, can I do a commercial break and come back and talk about people who are together but right now quarantining apart, and people who are single.
Of course.
Thank you, Zhana. Hold the break. Hacemos una pausa rapidísimo. Regresando, la doctora Zhana Vrangalova, investigadora. Ella es profesora adjunta del departamento de psicología de la Universidad de NYU, de Nueva York, doctora en psicología del desarrollo de la Universidad de Cornell y experta en sexo. Regresando en W Radio.
W Radio 96.9. Al aire. Debayle en casa. Estamos donde estés.
Estamos de regreso y no me lo van a creer, cuentavientes. Estamos hablando de sexo con la doctora Zhana Vrangalova. Ella es investigadora, escritora y educadora sexual. Tiene un doctorado en Psicología del Desarrollo de la Universidad de Cornell y aparte actualmente es profesora adjunta del Departamento de Psicología de la Universidad de Nueva York, de NYU. Y estábamos hablando de sus consejos para una bonita cooperación en estos tiempos de coronavirus y de cuarentena. Ya hablamos con Zhana sus consejos para parejas que viven juntos. Ahora vamos con el inciso B, que son parejas que están juntas pero separadas en cuarentena en diferentes lugares. A ver qué tiene que decirles Zhana a todos ustedes. So for couples that are not quarantining together, that are physically apart, so what is your advice, Zhana?
For couples who are separate, the sort of the magic that we have available to us, which is really good, right? That we have that we're all quarantining during a time when virtual connection is possible, is virtual connection. And so the first thing I would say is stay connected, phone, text, however you do that, on a daily basis, you know, in a way that feels like you really care about each other. So wake up to, and text your partner and stay connected throughout the day, and then have every day maybe a call at night or something, some way to feel connected, to feel that you are a couple and that you're invested in each other's lives.
Claro. Entonces, número uno es manténganse conectados. Y qué maravilla que estamos viviendo esto en esta época donde tenemos esta conexión virtual a través de tantas formas diferentes, desde WhatsApp hasta FaceTime, desde Zoom hasta Google Hangout, como sea, uno se puede conectar. Y manténganse conectados, haciéndole sentir a la otra persona que están interesados y que están invertidos en la otra persona. Number 2 and 3.
Number 2 is kind of similar as couples who are together, have virtual date nights. Again, once a week, create something that's special, that is obviously in video chat, but you, again, cook each other, or cook yourselves a nice dinner, open a bottle of wine, dress up, make it special.
Ok, y el punto número 2, como cuando viven juntos, y un poco lo que dijo antes, es hagan una cita virtual semanal. O sea, hagan un date night una vez a la semana y siéntense a lo mejor cada uno en su casa, en su espacio, con su copita de vino, con su cena, a cenar, viéndose a través del celular y tengan un date. El punto número 3 es sexo virtual. Y no solamente le voy a decir que se explaye en esto, pero que me diga cómo uno lo puede hacer más profesionalmente. So point number 3 is virtual sex.
Yes.
So I think you understand what I said in Spanish. So not only what do you mean by virtual sex, but can you help all the audience be more professional at having online sex?
Well, there's a lot that goes into that, of course, and it really depends on what people are comfortable with and how they want to go about it. And a lot of people are not comfortable with it, but it can be super, super hot. I mean, that's why porn is so widely spread. That's why camming is so widely spread, because there's something really hot and exciting about seeing your partner, do something sexual on camera. And so I think things like dress in something sexy and put on a show for each other. And there are other ways that you can do things like you can tell each other what you each want to do or how you want to do it. So you can play around with with leading and following, or maybe if you want to take it in a kinkier direction with more of a domination submission kind of scenario, you can use sex toys. And there are some of my favorite things to do in this context is remote controlled app-based sex toys. So you can have a sex toy, right, that you're using on yourself, but your partner has an app that controls what that sex toy does.
What?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. What app is that?
So there are a few different brands that have them. The ones that I've used are Picobong. It's a sister brand to Lelo called Picobong, and they have this line of toys called Remoji that do that. And it can be super fun, right? You give control over what the sex toy does to your partner, and they can do it remotely through the app. And same thing, you can play around with new things that you haven't done before, and you can get creative too. You can read each other's like erotic stories, or you can watch porn together while you're doing it if you don't feel comfortable kind of portraying yourself. So there are really a lot of options.
Okay, let me say that in Spanish. Dice que el punto número 3 para los que están juntos pero separados físicamente es el tema del sexo virtual. Entonces le digo que ahonde y especifique para todos ustedes. Y dice que, bueno, obviamente uno puede ir tan lejos como se sienta cómodo, desde vestirse, ponerse algo especial para hacer digamos que ese encuentro. Puede ser desde decirse lo que quieren, lo que desean, lo que están haciendo. Pueden hacerlo a través de video, pueden hacerlo a través del teléfono. Y dice algo bien interesante, que ahorita hay juguetes sexuales que puedes controlar a control remoto a través de apps, que hay una división de Lelo que se llama Picobong, que sirve para hacer eso, y que hay unos juguetes que se llaman, is the name Remoji? Is that what you said? Remoji. Que, haz de cuenta, tú tienes el juguete sexual, pero a través de la aplicación tu pareja controla ese juguete, lo cual pues está sumamente divertido. Y ahorita le pido a Giovanni que de volada se ponga a hacer esa investigación para que se los postee en Twitter, pero que pueden hacer muchísimas cosas a distancia, explorar lugares que nunca han explorado, ver pornografía juntos, etcétera, etcétera, para pues ensalzar y endulzar la situación. Okay, and now let's talk about people who are...
Let me just say that for a lot of people who haven't done phone sex or video sex, it can feel really uncomfortable in the beginning, and they don't know what to do, right? But it really gets easier, and you can get into it. So practice makes perfect. Give it a shot. Like I really encourage people to give it a shot.
Okay, que a lo mejor para alguien que nunca lo ha hecho, les dé hasta penita, se sientan incómodos, no sepan bien qué hacer. Pero como todo en la vida, la práctica te hace más perfecto. Denle una oportunidad, dense esa oportunidad y van a ver cómo cada vez les sale mejor. Thank you for that one, Zhana. And for people who are single.
People who are single, that's a whole other set of issues. It can really get lonely, and it feels like there are no ways to connect with other people or satisfy yourself. But one thing, obviously, we can do is masturbate. And so I want to encourage people, especially those who may not do that very often or don't feel comfortable doing it, this is the time to spend some time with yourself and learn what your body likes. There's time so you can try different things. You can, all sorts of different things that might turn you on, like different types of porn or different types of erotic stories or different types of toys. There are different kind of settings. If you have time to have that candlelit, bath with special salts that you never have time to do, or something like that, it's really good to be able to figure out what your body likes. And on the other hand, I think there are people who might end up masturbating too much because there's all this time home alone, especially if they're home alone. And And I think for them, it's important to set aside some time to do that, but try not to do it all day long. Because there are other things to do.
Is masturbating too much something that is real?
Well, I think doing anything too much is something that is certainly possible and real. And I'm not on the sex addiction or porn addiction kind of side of things very much, but I think that there are lots of different things to do in life, and I think all those things need to have some time dedicated to it. And if all you're doing is masturbating, just like if all you were doing is eating or watching TV or working or anything that you do too much at the expense of everything else that is important in your life, I think is not the best use of your time, is not the best kind of expression of who you are in the world.
Okay, dice para los solteros, masturbarse. Puede ser que es algo con lo que no se han sentido necesariamente cómodos y este sería un buen momento para explorarlo y para conocer su cuerpo y para escuchar a su cuerpo y para descubrir cómo funcionan. Y por otro lado, dice sin excederse, y le digo, existe la masturbación en exceso, y dice, bueno, aunque yo no soy especialista en adicciones sexuales, sí les puedo decir que, como en todo, todo con medida, nada con exceso, y que aunque es un tema muy personal, sí debería de ser un cierto tiempo y que eso no domine tu vida, así como la comida y así como cualquier otra adicción, y que no se convierta en lo único que eres y en la única expresión de quién eres. Understood. Number 2, 3, and 4.
So aside from masturbating, you can actually try to meet new people. And again, that's possible thanks to apps. So use the online apps. They're still there. They're still functioning, even if it's more difficult to meet people or you're going in person, and you're going to have to take it much slower if you are going to meet with someone in person. But you can still meet people online, and then you get to know each other over text and phone and potentially virtual sex as well. Feel trusting enough to do that, or if you can figure out some way to not reveal too much of yourself while doing that. But I think it's really it's an opportunity for people to, I think with the apps these days, very often what we do is we have a very short conversation with people after we swipe right, and then we meet each other. And then especially in large cities where there are a lot of options, people feel like, oh, there's always someone else around the corner. There's always someone else once you swipe right. So, but now because it's more difficult to kind of meet that next person, this will give us an opportunity, I think, to take it slower and get to know each other a bit more. Mm-hmm. And then eventually, I think, if people are in a position where they feel like they've been safe and not exposed to the virus, the other person also has been quarantining and they are not putting other people at risk, then you might choose to kind of have a date. And you can have socially distanced dates to some extent, right? You can go on a walk and meet each other in person or something like that.
Ok, dice 100% usen las aplicaciones, están funcionando, son extraordinarias. A lo mejor el hecho de que no se pueden conocer en persona tan rápido los orille a tener que llevar la relación más lento, pero inclusive, o sea, pueden tener hasta sexo virtual, dependiendo qué tan cómodos se sienten y qué tanto se quieren mostrar. Pero por sobre todas las cosas, si las cosas llegan a tal punto de quererse conocer, pueden inclusive conocerse en un parque, guardando su sana distancia, caminar juntos y conocerse en persona, pero las apps están funcionando. De hecho, ahorita le voy a comentar a Zhana que vi un artículo en la televisión de la BBC hablando de una nueva aplicación que ahorita está muy de moda, que se llama Love is Quarantine, justamente un servicio de citas tratando de conocerse en estas épocas de pandemia. Si lo quieren ver en Instagram, se llama Love is Quarantine y es una forma muy curiosa de cómo funciona el amor en estos tiempos de cuarentena. I was talking about this Instagram account that I saw that is called Love is Quarantine on the BBC on television, which is supposed to be quite cool. And so, number 3 about virtual dates, and then number 4 about
Ritual sex.
Yeah, ritual sex.
Yeah, same thing, right? That's not that different from what we talked about. Couples who are already couples but living separately is creating these virtual dates. And again, you can dress up for them. You can really kind of prep as if you were going out, and you can take them in a sexual direction or not take them in a sexual direction, depending on where you want to go with that. I would say for people who are just getting to know each other, one thing to be careful about is to what extent they trust the person that they're doing virtual sex with, and because it's very possible to take a screenshot of a live video chat and so on. So I would caution against doing that too quickly, but there are ways you can do phone sex. You can find angles that don't reveal identity and so on. So that's the one difference that I would say is important for brand new people that you're just meeting.
Pues dice que tener hasta citas virtuales, que puedes tener hasta sexo virtual con la persona, siempre y cuando seas sumamente cuidadoso en con quién lo estás haciendo, porque es muy fácil tomar una fotografía de la pantalla, un screenshot, y lo último que quieres es que esté tu cara circulando en las redes. Pero que hay formas de no mostrar quién eres y de todos modos seguir interactuando con la persona, pero que sin duda alguna tengan muchísimo cuidado. Zhana, it was so much fun talking to you.
Pleasure talking to you as well.
Bueno, la doctora Zhana está en Twitter como DR Zhana, que es ZHANA, igualmente en Instagram, igualmente en Facebook. Thank you for educating us sexually so we have a better quarantine. Hoping this is over soon.
Yes, me too. All right.
How are you in New York, dear?
Oh, it's good. Just home. Doing nothing at home.
Yeah, doing nothing. I can imagine. A big kiss and a big hug for you all the way from Mexico. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Bye.
Bye. La doctora Zhana Vrangalova es sexóloga y bueno, esos son sus consejos para los que viven juntos, para los que están juntos pero están separados físicamente y para todos los solteros en estas épocas de COVID, Rebeca, de COVID. Rebeca, ¿dónde está Rebeca? ¿Dónde está Rebeca? Rebeca ya se fue. Quería preguntarle si quería tener sexo virtual conmigo, pero pues Rebeca no está, entonces pues no será posible, cuentavientes. Con esto hacemos una pausa. Sí, así estoy, como un grillito solita. ¿Dónde está Rebeca? ¿Alguien me puede decir, por favor, dónde está Rebeca y por qué se fue? Si este tema lo hicimos especialmente para ella. Porque ella es la que está teniendo muchísimos problemas sexuales con su pareja y pues yo la quería ayudar de una u otra manera. Y espero que todos ustedes, cuentavientes, pues les haya servido esta información que les hemos dado.